and welcome to round one with Jeskai Control, where we are on the play. In case you missed the deck tech with this, or want to see the rest of the rounds, and you're on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, Star City Games, should be able to have everything that we've put up for the last while at least. So take a look there. This hand looks acceptable. We have two early answers. This looks a little sketchy on paper though. The pull plus torrential gear hulk's a sign that maybe our hand could get overloaded, but because these are both cheap answers and not potentially conditional things, I'm okay with it. Our land sequencing is going to be Prairie Stream on 1, Vantage on 2. What avatar is that? Viridian Zealot. Wow, that's an old school one. I think it's an old school one. Trying to remember if this was from, so back in the day they used to actually have, so the Momir, for those who have not played Momir Basic, the Momir Vig avatar has an ability that creates its own format basically, but I want to say up until about 6 years ago, so like for the first 10 years or so of Moto, every avatar that they released, so like your pre-release avatar or whatever, had an ability, and I was trying to remember what this ability was on Viridian Zealot, or if it had one. Trying to think of some notable, like you could play Avatar Vanguard decks against each other, and that used to be a format they had events of. Some notable ones were like Llanowar Elf that you started, or one of them started with like a Llanowar Elf and play like a Mox, and it was pretty crazy. So Evo Wild, so probably Delirium. Doesn't really change any of my plays. I guess it could be Marvel too. Red. Evo for red? Probably Marvel? Red, black. Okay. So I've officially reached the I have no idea what's going on stage. Okay, so Grixis control. That is not good for our control mirror. You're supposed to draw lands, then play lands in this matchup. It's not the end of the world because basically we've just had serve broken. Or, sorry, we've like basically lost the die roll is what I mean. Because, you know, they're going to get their fourth land before we do, but that's the same as if they were on the play. Yeah, if they have main deck Dispel, then whatever. So here, I prefer, I'm going to slam this. I don't think I can afford to get it censored is the problem. And I'm going to keep both of those. I'm dead to like an Obnixilis. But I guess not dead. It's really bad, but worse things have happened, I guess. Oh. Okay. So they're Grixis nonsense. Okay. Good thing we have so many good things to hit them with. We just have to bridge this one turn gap without getting destroyed. That's a really good way to do so. They probably don't have Torrential Gear Hulk in their deck based on the fact that they play Cathartic Reunion. Okay. I'm guessing they don't have counterspell. They might have Censor. They're returning my Glimmer. Yeah, that they're going to be disappointed. So we go up to 7. Okay, we don't have to discard on my turn. Those don't seem exciting, and I'll probably hit a land. I'm not huge on Essence Scatter. I'd rather have an actual hard counter. 2 lands is not what I wanted to hit, though. I want to play the island, and I just want to pass sitting on my Gearhulk negate. Yeah, there is no need for me to care about that. Well, they have successfully filtered out some number of the bad cards in their deck. I feel like I can't. It's a fair draw. So my lane sequencing a little weird there. I didn't use my mana. The logic being I don't want to run my Gearhulk into Censor. And then I didn't fire Harness because I actually want to kill real creatures with it. And then we just kind of got paid off by drawing Magma Spray there. If I wanted to leave up 6 to like force the punish if they tapped out last turn, where I can actually Gearhulk if they do stuff. But they're not doing anything threatening, so I can just kind of use my life total as a resource. That's perfectly fine by me. I don't need this pull when I'm going to Glimmer Gearhulk. If I take 2 Censors out with this, that's fine by me. Worth noting that I actually only have 5 win conditions left in my deck. The 2 Fumaroles and 2 Gearhulks if this dies. I don't need another land. I do want as much card draw as possible. And I will now use this crappy removal spell to kill that. I highly doubt their deck has Scrap Heap Scrounger, so whatever. Perfect draws. I'll play my land and attack. I'm not going to Glimmer on my main phase at all, so. This is the exact kind of mid-range nonsense that we should be absolutely demolishing. Sure, cycle that away. Never. How much do I care about that? If 4 cards in hand? There's so much counter magic in my deck that I think I'm okay with that getting countered here. Okay. You have defeated my Gearhulk. So my opponent now has a couple zombies that don't really mean a lot. Oh. a couple of potential zombies. We don't want Sensor. That doesn't do anything. It's just going to cycle. So putting on the bottom is the same thing. Oh boy, this is not ending well for my opponent. I guess I just pass. They're out of range of me being able to censor either zombie. That's fine. Sure. Great. I'll draw more. I think I would like to hold a turn on the pole. Oh, well, that is disappointing, I guess. I don't really have to do anything here, do I? I can pull for 5? Is that even good enough to do? I'd rather just throw some cards at my opponent. And then I'll pull after I've used my cards and then have a million cards. This just is not ending well for them. And so I'm going to pull for 6 and just like not losing to double censor just seems fine by me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're good? That's it? You didn't want to play against all of this stuff? Shucks. Okay, so I'm going to guess that I would like these cards. I'm going to guess the Dragon Master Outcast is pretty sweet. Negate seems pretty sweet. Archangel Avacyn seems good. Gideon seems good. Cast Out seems good. So I've got 8 cards I would definitely like. Oh, 10 cards. Sorry. 10 cards I would definitely like. And Immolating Glare seems atrocious. This card does not seem super important. That card does not seem great. What is my opponent's game plan? It's probably heavy discard and threats of some kind. I can't imagine them having Scrap Heap Scrounger, so I don't need to hedge against that. I'm trying to think what others. They could have Dread Wanderer, but if they like want to go down that stupid road, I have enough stuff that matters. Essence Scatter doesn't seem exciting. I have other counters that do that. I probably want some of the Harness Lightnings, if not all. 62. We don't really need... I guess, I don't know how they beat Sphinx to the final word. I can see Avacyn just being one of the worst cards in the matchup. Just, I guess Never is quite good against Nahiri. That might be the hedge I'm trying to go for, is what cards does Never to Return fight the hardest. Like, Nahiri doesn't actually get value there. And doesn't fight opposing Planeswalkers where Gideon does. And Avacyn just handles it. Okay. I like this. And then I can Drag Master with counters up too, so... There we go. I think Nahiri is the card I would like to cut. This hand is... I'm okay keeping. It has cards as an answer to Planeswalkers. Land sequencing is awkward in a sense. It's like Fumarole, Vantage, Port Town is the sequence. Oh my gosh, why did that mess up all of my sequencing? Gideon, why must you be so good at Magic? Yeah. So they're on the heavy discard, and I'm on the have some threats. They're probably going to leave me with Gideon, because they probably have a never return in their hand or something. Oh, they took Gideon, so they cannot beat a Gideon. That is a good sign. No need to play Canal. I'm going to try to hold on to the cast out as much as possible. Interesting. So my fourth land is going to be the other Canal. And then sure, that's some cards. I'm not the thing about that is like I'm not noticeably behind, so I'm not too scared of what just happened there. Ooh, irrigated farmland. Does that change anything? Well, I can play the Prairie Stream. I want to cycle the farmland with my mana this turn if I'm not doing anything, so I want to play the Spire Bluff. I don't see a reason to jam Avacyn until my opponent exposes a Planeswalker. Yeah, I'm going to have to cast out that on my main phase, and then things will get a little sketchy for me, but that's fine. I didn't want to sequence my land such that I had 4 mana up this turn, so I wanted the 5th next turn. Yeah, I really have to kill that, though. It's 8 to ult that. Fortunately, my opponent is Grixis, which is notoriously not good for handling enchantments. I guess they could... Is Jace non-land per... Jace is creatures, otherwise we would bounce Planeswalkers. Okay. It's so much nonsense filtering in my opponent's deck. How do you beat Mardu if you're just like... You have to play all these cards that cost you mana? Yeah, that was unfortunate, but kind of predictable. Well, that is a pretty nice draw. I'm going to do that. The specific reason there is my opponent knows my entire hand, and they can't hit this with a Transgress, and because they know these two cards, they are not incentivized to fire a Laybear. So I want to get max value out of this because I'm so far behind on cards. Yeah. My opponent's just seen their whole deck. I guess if I even get Laybeared, I can just draw 2 off this effectively. So it's not even the end of the world. Snap that off. That was perfect. Look at this. Free card. Nice discard spells. Glad they can hit everything. Ooh, and a tap land so they can't even Laybear? That's bad news. And honestly, I don't want to wait and run into some stupid dispel out of my opponent's sideboard or whatever. So this is fine. Aether Hub, you suck the most. Now watch my opponent play a 5 toughness creature. So to recap, my opponent has paid 6 life to draw as many cards as I just paid mana for. And is now at 9 life, facing down Wandering Fumarole and Archangel Avacyn. That's fine by me. It's also fine by me. Liliana's minus is not threatening anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I have anything in my graveyard? Wow, that's a bad graveyard. I'm not going to pass up a free Liliana that my opponent just offered me like that. It's possible Chandra's actually more of a threat. So I can just cast out the Liliana. This is actually interesting. Yeah, I think Chandra's actually the... Though, so the problem is if my opponent has a second Chandra, I just get wrecked on how much loyalty they put on the table. So I'd rather just do this. I think this is the safer bet. Let me just land another Fumarole. Like, I'm giving them a card here, which is, I guess, not even the end of the world. My hand's really good. Like, even if I get dispossessed, it's a little obnoxious, but not horrific. So we have enough to cast... Ooh, double red. What is this? Did they reprint Rakdos Return and I forgot about it? Okay, so that's a never return in my opponent's graveyard? Okay. Man, for how much people made fun of this card because it's Ruinous Path, this card is nice. Just like everything about it. Ruinous Path costing 7 is so different than what this card does. Scarab Feast. Okay. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to let it resolve because there's nothing else I can do, but 12, 11? Huh. That might be lethal. Let's see. I can harness one Gearhulk, harness block. And then it's not lethal that happens. Harness. 2-3, 1-2-3. Oh my gosh, my mana's so bad for that too. I'm one short of what I need. So I have to. That's my only play that I can make. Because I take 16 and 2 off Chandra. And then I have to hope to kill on the swing back? I've heard of worse propositions. And we're one short of just... Oh, that's also a damage short. This is just really awkward on all accounts. I think all the Harness Lightnings are coming out for the next game. And instead, I guess I probably want a Fumigate to counter. Essence Scatter's bad. Does never make the zombie tapped or untapped? Create a... No, just makes a zombie for whatever reason. Super weird. I guess Nico Bolas's zombies are fast or something. I don't know. I got dispelled? Okay. That's good enough for me. It's good to know about dispel, though. Okay. So that's what's going on there. Fury does seem technically better than anything else, even though it's not very good. I'm just literally putting cards with cycling into my deck. I only want one Nihiri. I don't want multiples. I guess Linvala has power and toughness, but... Yeah. Okay. And then we'll just take the hits from Never for a while. We're not really threatened on our life total in any way. We can just like eat the token with a Gear Hulk at some point, or just beat our opponent with whatever. I don't really want to dispel in my deck against the deck with all the discard spells. Yeah, sure. Port Town on 1 is just the best play. I wonder if my opponent has considered Fevered Visions. We play Aether Hub here so that we have a basic in our hand in case we draw another Port Town. What is the line of play that we are attempting to go for this game? Here he's not doing anything for a very long time. If we get discard spelled, okay, we aren't. So I did think about Fevered Visions, but we didn't see it last game, and we also have the backup enchantment kill in the Nihiri, so we're just cycling away. We will play tap land so that we can play our 4-drops next turn. If we get Liliana, we have the out. We can. Liliana doesn't seem like it does much, honestly. I don't really care about that card. I probably could have killed the shot. I don't. I don't think it really changed anything if I killed which one. I think that the. Yeah, sure, whatever. Take a card. I don't think it really changed anything. Our opponent probably doesn't have Censor, so I don't really have to play around that card anymore. We've seen like half their deck both games. They would have cycled it. Okie dokie. Time to glimmer into some lands. Definitely not time to cast Nahiri. We don't have nonsense to discard, and it's just going to die to never. They have played their land for the turn, so correct? Yeah, they can draw some cards for all I care. They're actually going to have to discard. That's not good for them. And we're going to scry for land specifically here. I don't think I want Sphinx of the final word. And yeah, this is that discard. So they have extra lands. Fumarole protects me from random planeswalker like Liliana, though I don't even know if I'd get too excited about crushing in on that. I'd rather just leave cast out so I'm in position against a planeswalker. I guess maybe Nahiri discarding Spire Bluff was good there. No, if my opponent cast Obnix, I'd rather just exile it and be done with my, like, brutality. Reveals, choose an instant or sorcery from it. There's probably value to casting this in response. Just, that's what I was hoping for. Select nothing. As long as I don't get dispossessed this turn, everything's good. I'm getting dispossessed. Okay. What is the plan if that happens? Do I have a plan? Oh, wow. No, just nothing. Just no plan whatsoever. Okay. So my opponent's plan is just to get completely wrecked. Okay, that's much better. Great job, Torrential Gear Hulk, for just being the best thing ever. And thanks for showing up. Never is a sorcery worth noting, so my opponent, like, it's actually great because my opponent has to, like, fire it on some nonsense. They have 4 in graveyard, so I'm not even, or is it 1, 2, they have 5? So I was a little bit threatened by, sure, whatever. You have an Obnixilis. Okay, so we are aiming for a 3-mana counterspell here. Glimmer of Genius. The classic duo. Interesting. I would like both of those. And now the big question, what do I do? I think the answer is cast out plus untapped land. The reason for untapped land is that lets me play around Lay Bare the Heart. Let's tap a little bit better for the 0 that it matters. But so if I played a tap land and my opponent cast Lay Bare, they could take my negate and then I'd be unable to have a counter up for like whatever the follow up is. Like another Obnix would be a really big deal. Do I care about that? On the grand scheme of things. I don't think so. It's another Painful Shrews, maybe? Sure, whatever. If they played a Reunion, I might, go for the 2-for-1. Did they not play a land? Interesting. Yeah, so I want to leave up a red somehow. Here he's a fine card to stick here. Because I don't have any good targets for Gear Hulk, and I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't have enough to like negate something and then Gear Hulk to negate. So do I need to protect this Gear Hulk? I don't think so. Have fun. This isn't even a good Gear Hulk because it doesn't draw me cards. Worth noting, it's kind of awkward for me in the specific matchup against all this discard to Nahiri for Sphinx, because then it's in my hand on my opponent's turn for being exposed to discard. So if I ult Nahiri, I guess it's for Gear Hulk. Just like get a trigger and then attack and then have a Gear Hulk. Smart choice. Take the counterspell that's less taxing on my mana. I'm okay with firing a counterspell on that one. Yeah, that was a perfect exchange. I traded for a Dispel on a turn that I don't care about the mana. So I would like to discard a card. I would like it to be this land. Cast out. Not the most exciting thing, but I'll take it. A list of things I do not care about. It is taking 2 cards out of my opponent's hand. If my opponent nevers my Nahiri, do I even care? Yes, that resolves immediately, because that puts you at lethal. In like 8,000 ways, too. So let's go through the motions. This was a bad sequencing. As I tap my lands to walk my... I guess if my Gearhulk gets censored, that's lethal anyways. Okay, yeah. So we'd cast Gearhulk, animate Fumarole, ultimate this, have counters up. It's just all over. Cool. We managed to beat Grixis nonsense. Rise for the Tides plus this stuff was pretty impressive. That's actually kind of sweet. As I said, I don't know what they're supposed to do against an opponent who beats the crap out of them because they're dirtling, but yeah. That card looked pretty nice.